she get her energy? She's a moving little, grooving little juvenile mermaid, pretty as a coral tree. Oh, what a life has she.
How do you do? My name is Prentice, and I'm a porpoise. In fact, I'm the very same porpoise you just heard about in the song, the one Misty, my little mermaid friend, rides around on. In case you haven't met any mermaids lately, I shall describe Misty for you. Or better still, just take a look. From the waist up, Misty is a bright, attractive little girl. From the waist down, she has the body of a wiggly fish. But from the waist up or the waist down, Misty spells just one thing to me: M-I-S-C-H-I-E-V-O-U-S. Mischievous! In case you wonder how I can spell so well, I should like to remind you that the porpoise is considered by scientists to be one of the world's smartest living beings. At any rate, I look after Misty along with my friends, Ocky the octopus and Blubber the whale, and we all live together in the deep, clear waters of Sunny Harbour, which is where Misty rides around on my back. As I said, Misty spells mischief, and that's what she's always getting into, mischief. And when she does, it's up to me, and Ocky and Blubber, to get her out. Does she ever lead us a merry chase? Well, just for example, take the adventure we had with the ghost of Captain Spook, the pirate. Phew! There were some exciting and dangerous moments in that one. Let me see now, where shall I begin? I know. Being a porpoise and one of the world's smartest living beings, I'll begin at the beginning. Now, first I must tell you that beside her fish friends who live deep in the waters of Sunny Harbour, Misty has 3 human friends, children, who live on land in the village nearby. Their names are Marvin, Sandy, and Jane, 2 boys and a girl. Now, almost every day, Marvin, Sandy, and Jane come down to the rocks at the edge of Sunny Harbour where Misty goes to sun herself, and the 4 of them play together. Now, one such morning, Misty was telling the kids a story that I had told her about Captain Spook the pirate and his ship, the Black Banshee.
And so there was this terrible storm, and the Black Banshee was sunk, along with its enormous treasure of gold doubloons.
Hey, Misty, what are doubloons?
Oh, they're gold coins, and they're very valuable.
How much is one worth?
Oh, a lot. In fact, that's why they're called doubloons, because they're double the value of ordinary gold coins.
Go on with the story, Misty.
Well, the Black Banshee was sank a long time ago, and ever since then, the treasure has just sat there on the bottom of the ocean.
Why doesn't somebody go find the Black Banshee and bring back the treasure?
Well, Sandy, the reason somebody doesn't go and find the Banshee... Sandy!
What? What did I do?
Sponges and shells. You just gave me the greatest, most stupendiferous idea I've ever had. Wow!
When Misty says something is stupendiferous, it's like a storm warning. I know there's mischief afoot.
What idea, Misty? What?
The idea Sandy thought of, to find the wreck of the Black Banshee and bring back the treasure.
I thought of? Wait a minute, Misty.
We can't, Sandy. Do you realize that every minute we sit here delaying, those gold doubloons are rusting away in the salt water?
Misty, gold doesn't rust. And they're doubloons, not doubloons.
Oh, well, whatever they are, they're worth a fortune, and they're just sitting there waiting for us.
But where? We can't search the whole ocean. There's just too much of it.
We don't have to. Prentice told me that the legend is that the Black Banshee sank right in these waters, probably no more than a few miles from Sunny Harbour.
It sounds highly impractical.
Oh, Marvin, do you want to be rich or don't you?
Well, sure, but...
Okay, here's what you've got to do.
If you want to find a treasure and be happy as can be, just whistle along with this tiddly song and stick with me. I can make your life I've got the recipe. Just whistle along with this tiddly song and stick with me. First you pucker up. That's the way your whistle starts. Now you're puckered up. Just whistle a tune that's in your heart. There'll be fun you cannot measure on the land and on the sea. Just whistle along with this tiddly song so merrily. Whistle and stick with me.
There now. See how easy it's going to be? Sandy! Sandy, what's wrong? Oh, Jane, he's choking. Hit him on the back.
Oh! Thanks, Jane. I was whistling and I got my pucker stuck.
Okay, now here's how we get started.
May I intrude?
Oh, Prentice, what is it? Oh, we're kind of busy.
About the legend of the sunken pirate treasure.
Yes?
Didn't you leave out one small detail of the story?
Me? Leave out? Like what?
Like the part in the story that says the ghost of Captain Spook, a terrible, cruel pirate, stands guard over the Black Banshee and the treasure. That's what.
Oh, ghost! Oh, that. I don't believe in ghosts.
Well, may I remind you that a lot of people don't believe in mermaids either. Now, we're due at Ocky's for lunch in 1 hour. And don't be late.
Yes, Prentice. I'll be ready.
I dived below the surface of the bay and left, with what dignity I could muster. Now, I suppose you're thinking the matter ended there, that we'd hear no more about going after the sunken treasure aboard the Black Banshee that was being guarded by the ghost of Captain Spook. Well, that just shows you don't know Misty. Before lunchtime, she convinced the children the whole idea was safe and sound. And when we got to the home of Ocky the octopus, she enlisted him on her side and talked him into helping them build the raft they would need to go in search of the treasure. The next thing I knew, the whole crew, Misty, Marvin, Sandy, Jane, and Ocky, were at the water's edge building the raft. Another of our friends, Pablo the pelican, was perched on a piling watching the work. Now, as you know, an octopus has a whole bunch of arms and hands. So as they built the raft, everyone kept calling on Ocky for help.
Hey there, Ocky, give us a hand. Come on, Ocky, give us a hand. We're gonna build a raft here on the sand. Got a lot to do and we need a hand. Give him a hammer, give him a nail. Stand aside for Ocky, the landing whale. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hands. Go, go, go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 hands. Go, go, go.
Help me saw the lumber.
That's 2 hands.
Help me put the mast on.
That's 2 more.
Help me tie the rigging.
Just 2 left.
Help me hoist the sail up.
That's it, kids. Go, go, go. Mr. Ocky, go. Oh, 40 feet is busy. By peck.
Put a brush in my mouth and I'll paint the deck.
Go, Ocky, go, 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 go. Give us a hand, Ocky, whoa, whoa, whoa. Give us a hand, Ocky, whoa, whoa, whoa. Give us a hand, Ocky, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Hey, hold it!
What's the matter? What is it?
What's wrong, Ocky?
Now look, you children, and mermaid,
Yes, Ocky.
I am an octopus, and an octopus has only 8 hands. At least that's all this octopus has. Now, if we are going to get this raft built, we are going to have to cooperate. Cooperation is the key to success. I cannot do more than 8 things at a time. Understand?
Sure, Ocky. Sorry. Come on, kids. Let's get cracking.
Well, eventually they finished building the raft and were all ready to launch it and go in search of the wreck of the Black Banshee. Then another argument flared up.
I think we should go east.
Go north. North. West. We should go west.
Misty, if we go west, we'll be travelling on land instead of water.
Oh, well, we'd better not go west then.
If you, children don't mind listening to some practical advice, you should go south.
Why, Prentice?
Well, because one day, not too long ago, Pablo the pelican was swimming over the waves a few miles south of here, quite close to shore, he told me. And he saw lying on the bottom a length of anchor chain that might have dropped off a ship when it went down. I say, go south.
Aye, south it is. Climb aboard, me hearties, and let's shove off.
Yes, off to find the treasure.
Well, we all climbed aboard, which left nobody to shove off. So Ocky piled off the raft back onto the beach, and by pushing at the raft, which was already partly afloat with his 8 hands, he managed to get it into the water. Jane and Sandy hoisted the sail while Marvin steered, and we were off. All went well for about 20 feet, and then...
Misty, Misty, a raft sinking. We'll all drown. Sponges and shells. Prentice, Ocky, over the side. Come on.
When the 3 of us, Misty, Ocky and I, dived overboard, it lightened the raft enough so that it floated beautifully. Marvin headed the raft south, and there was a brisk following breeze that took it along at a good clip. Misty, Ocky and I submerged. Misty climbed on my back, and Ocky and I swam along underwater behind the raft carrying the children. Nothing eventful took place for a mile or two. Ocky and I were chatting as we swam, when suddenly I became aware that there was no weight on my back. Somehow Misty had slipped off and disappeared. Ocky, stop! Misty's gone.
Oh, bother, she's done it again.
Well, she can't be far. Let's backtrack and find her.
Okay. Okay. Oh, there's Cruncher, the giant clam. Let's ask him. Hi, Cruncher. Have you seen Misty?
Cruncher the clam certainly was a giant. His shell must have been 4 or 5 feet in diameter. Cruncher didn't reply to Ocky's question about Misty, but then that was really no surprise because Cruncher is a notorious grouch, and when anyone speaks to him, he's just as likely to keep his jaws tightly shut as not. So, not wishing to waste any more time with him, Ocky and I swam back over the way we'd come, asking the various fish if they'd seen anything of Misty. We asked Ernie the electric eel, Blubber the whale, and Stanley the starfish, but none of them had seen her. Now this seemed odd, and after a bit, a very uncomfortable and somewhat frightening idea occurred to me. Ocky, hold up a moment.
Yeah, Prentice? What is it?
A very uncomfortable and somewhat frightening idea has occurred to me.
Oh, dear. Tell me.
I confided my fears to Ocky, and he agreed that the possibility I had set forth was a distressing one indeed. However, the porpoise is not one of the world's smartest living beings for nothing, and I had a plan. I instructed Ocky in the part he was to play, and he swam off while I swam back to the area where I'd last seen Cruncher, the giant clam. I soon spotted Cruncher's enormous shell propped up against an outcropping of rocks, just where I'd left him. Good day, friend Cruncher. Well, I'm glad to see you're looking so well. I believe you've lost a little weight around the middle. Yes, well, I'm tired of running around looking for that silly little mermaid. You have no idea what a trial that girl is to me. Yes, very tiresome, running away all the time. As I talked to the huge, unpleasant mollusk, I could see Ocky swimming silently up behind him. I distracted Cruncher's attention until Ocky got into position and began tickling Cruncher from below, all of his 8 hands going furiously. Cruncher began to laugh, but at first he refused to open his shell. It worked. Under Ocky's persistent tickling, Cruncher roared with uncontrollable laughter. Naturally, when he laughed, his shell popped open. And sure enough, out swam Misty, hopping mad.
Oh, Cruncher, you big stupid clam, you, closing your shell on me like that. Do you want to give me closet phobia?
That's claustrophobia, Misty, and just be quiet for a minute. Cruncher, that was a dirty trick, and you know it.
Well, she's always teasing me. She swims up close and flicks her tail at me and calls me chowderhead.
Did you do that, Misty?
But besides, I wasn't going to keep her in there just long enough to teach her a lesson. Okay, now that you've tickled me, do me a favour and scratch my back. Okay, Cruncher.
Well, I'm ashamed of both of you. Now, come on, Misty, jump on my back. We've got to catch up with the children on the raft. Come on, Ocky.
All right, let's go. Sorry, Misty.
Oh, that's okay, Cruncher. I promise not to tease you any more. Till next time.
Oh, come along, come along. With Misty on my back and Ocky following close behind, I quickly surfaced to look around and see if I could locate the raft.
There they are, Prentice. Over there. Look, they're waving at us.
Sure enough, I looked shoreward and could see the raft with the children waving furiously at us. We quickly swam in that direction and found them floating around at the foot of some towering rocks which all but hid the entrance to a small cove. They were a bubble with excitement.
Quickly, come on. Oh, Misty, Prentice, I think we found it.
The wreck? The sunken pirate ship?
It looks like it. There's something in the shadows at the bottom of this cove.
Sponges and shells. Prentice, Ocky, come on. We've got to go below and check it out. Hurry.
I was inclined to think the children had been deceived by a massive underwater kelp, or perhaps a shadowy grouping of rocks. But we three, Misty, Ocky, and I, dived to the bottom, and, sure enough, there it was. And when we swam around the stern, we saw its name in fading letters, but still plain enough to be read. Black Banshee.
Wow, look at that. Prentice, we found it. Oh, let's go up and tell the kids.
The news that we had indeed located the wreck of the Black Banshee was greeted with shouts of enthusiasm by the children on board the raft. There was no containing their glee. Almost immediately, they began speculating on how they would spend the golden treasure once we'd found it and hauled it from the wreck.
Oh, boy, kids, we're going to be rich.
What'll we do with all that money?
What'll we do with the money, chums? What'll we do with the gold? I'll buy a bubble pipe for Blubber, the kind that he loves.
I'll wear a silk hat, an overcoat, and 8 pairs of gloves.
We're gonna be little millionaires before we're 12 years old. When I run out of candy, if I want some more, I'll simply go and take it 'cause I'll own the candy store. I'll be eating chocolate cakes with no one keeping score. Yes, that's what we'll do with the gold. Yes, that's what we'll do with the gold.
I'm going to buy a beautiful pearl necklace.
What will you do with that, may I inquire?
I'll take those pearls to dear old Grandma Oyster and tell her, here, retire.
I'm gonna buy a pretty little saddle to wear when you go riding on my back.
How sweet of you to think about my comfort.
Those scales of hers are sharper than a tack. Yes, that's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. That's what we'll do with the gold.
Oh, that's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. That's what we'll do